Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Skip Allen Paints. I decided, actually, what I did was I found on the internet a page on Wikipedia that listed Japanese traditional colors, or the traditional colors of Japan. And I can't tell you much about them other than the fact that I don't know. I really don't know. You'd have to look it up and go look. It's just that when I saw these colors, I thought they were so pretty. And I think they'll be gorgeous with watercolor. So I thought I would do a quick little painting and then post these Japanese traditional colors for everyone. And by the way, they are named. The first name is the Romanized Japanese, and then the second name is the English translation. And the names are almost as much fun as the images. But anyway, I thought I would give it a shot. So let's just see what we can do here. And I have a watercolor layer going. I don't need that. Okay, so let's add a layer. And we'll just see what we have here. Now, I'm not going to draw this like the image per se. I'm just going to make something up here. I'm using the format. I mean, these are Wisteria. Not wisteria, my goodness, Skip. These are forsythia blooms. And I've always thought they were really pretty blooms. That's a little bit too wide. And anyway, and let's see, we need to come over on this side, and we'll just put one more in. So what am I going to put in up here? Actually, I think this one, if I understand it right, sometimes I can't really see what I'm looking at. Let's see. Actually, I don't like where I was going with that. Well, I need this to go up here. And I think this was another leaf there. And this would come down here. And then I think we have this coming out like that. And I'm not sure we have everything there, but it's something like that. And we probably want to have an indication of a stick coming through here. That doesn't give it to me though. Let's bring it up this way, up that way, that way, and down something like that. Let's see how that's going to work out. Okay, so there's my sketch. We'll lock it, and we'll add another, actually I'll come down to the canvas, and I think I will come in now. Let's see what kind of painting utensils I can use here. I want to go to my Cool Springs. Let's see. All right, so fill 3 is a possibility. I've done some new ones, though. I hope they're in here. Yeah. Okay, let's try fill 3 fixed. And I'm going to come in now with that color set. And I'm going to come down to these beautiful lavenders that you have here. And let's just see what kind of color we get with that. Oh, that's gorgeous. All right, so I'll come in and put in a little of this in the background. Don't want them to be too busy, and that's looking pretty busy. Let's see what we can do here. Well, you know, it's going to be on its own layer, so I can come in here and change this as I want. I guess I'm going to have to give you this brush, too. This is not a brush that's been put out. If you'll notice, I'm actually working with my art pen. I made a comment when I did the section on art pens that I could make an art pen into, one of the watercolor pencils into something that would rotate, not a pencil but a brush, something that would use rotation, barrel rotation. And so I did with this one. That's what this does. You see, I can change the direction of the rotation. So if you have an art pen, this brush would be pretty cool. Now I call it Fill 3 Fix 3. So I'm going to have to remember what I rename it, so you guys will know what brush is what. And it looks like I have my mail open, so I think we ought to close that. Alrighty there. Okay, so I'm going to pause a second. Okay, let's see. I'm back now. Let's bring in a little more color in here. Let's take it to this sort of red color. And I want to make this brush a little bigger and just see. Oops, can't make it bigger in there. We'll see how this red plays out. And a little bit in there. Now we're probably going to have to come in there and get a little darker color in there. Okay, so we got that. Now let's come in with some yellow in here and try to start bringing in our flower. So we could come in. Let's see what kind of colors we're looking at here. Let's bring in this brown gold here. And we'll bring it right into here. Oops, that's not the brown gold. There we go. And we're going to bring it right into here and blend it out up to there. This is going to have to go much bluer. It's not going to work. We'll get into that in a minute. Ooh, 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 ooh. New layer, new watercolor layer. And let's go a little oranger with this. See how this looks. That looks kind of good. That line is a little bit too straight, though. That's better. All right, so we also need this to be here. I really love these colors, though. I really do. Like that. Didn't like that. I liked it light. A little darkness over here. But I don't want the lines to show so much. That's all right. That'll work. Now we need to go. It's interesting that they don't have real yellows. They have these orange yellows, this floral leaf color. Hey, let's try one of these. Actually, I'm going to try this. Rape blossom. I bet that's supposed to be grape blossom. Oh dear. I'll go ahead and check that. Look how much yellower they look from the color set. That's probably has something to do with the fact that this brush rather uses buildup, and the color kind of changes with buildup. I forgot which one of these colors I was using. I think it was this one. since I've just used this color set for the first time, it's a little bit difficult to decide what colors to use, but I'm liking the way all of these tend to mix together pretty well. There's probably one of these things under here somewhere. And that looks really bizarre right there. So let's just bring in, I just realized I've got my paper that's on here is probably gessoed canvas. Let's see. Yeah. Which I wouldn't normally use with watercolor, but I wasn't thinking things through. Now, where was I when I was over here fixing to do something? I don't know. All right, so we need a much darker brown and a smaller brush. Ooh, that's nice. That's a green brown. Like that. Okay, now what we've got to do is lock that layer and add a new watercolor layer. And we need to go into these blue-violet colors. Darker blue-violet, maybe. And let's see. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. And I'm using only one brush, which is odd for me. But you know what? I think this is kind of fun. I'm not going to consider this like a finished painting or something that's really wonderful. I just want to experiment. This is these are some new brushes that I've been working on too, and I probably now that I'm working with it, I'm realizing I need to play with it some more. So, guys, you may not get this brush as is. We'll see what we want to do with it. Not only am I using one brush, but I really didn't use that many colors from the color set. But what I did use, I really like. I don't like the way that one looked. So we'll take it out. We're going to make the brush a little bigger. And we'll cut it in like that. And then like that. I love the way rotation works with a brush. All right, we need some more activity going on that's not more activity. Some stuff happening that is a little different. Let's lock this layer, add another watercolor layer. I need to pop some of this out a bit. Like we need some dark behind this one. And that's not the dark I need. I need fairly dark. Let's try this one. Yeah, just a little shading in there. We need a little darkness under this one. We're 25 minutes into this, and that's about all I like to spend on a piece like this. Well, y'all making up stories and talking to yourselves while I'm doing this and not talking? I hope so. Okay, now let's see if we can get another watercolor layer. I want to go back and lock this one though. And we need some different kind of brushes. So let's go back to some of our old brushes. Let's go to Desert Oasis, see what I've got in there. I sort of forgot. I know that I've got Expressive Bristle, and I like it. Let's see what we might want to do here if we take this Expressive Bristle, and this is almost black. Don't like that. Let's take this to, I know what we can do. Let's add one of my funky papers, like this one, which is messy. Oh, yeah. I have another type brush. Ooh, where is it? Oh, Airbrush Wets Paper. These I'm going to give out also. And we'll use this airbrush variable. And not that color. Let's go with this navy. Oh, goodness. Okay, this is exactly what I need, but I'm going to pause this. Well, I'll show you what I'm going to be doing, and then I'll pause it while I'm doing it. I'm going to make a new channel. I'm going to take the channel and reduce its opacity, the Rubylith opacity. And then I'm going to come in with a brush that I frequently use. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with a fine spray airbrush instead. And I'll put that on white. Oops, let me get to the fine airbrush first. Come on, painter. Get there. Okay. Now we'll take it to white. And what I'm going to do with this thing is make it fairly small. I'm going to come around this. Stop bothering me. You need to be on the canvas layer if you're doing this. Come back over here. Now, I'm going to try and paint around this figure here. Now, what this is doing is it's making a selection, actually. And once I get it in place, then I can load the selection, and then when I paint with that watercolor brush, it's not going to, it will still flow into this area, but I can delete from the area that it flows into. You'll understand when you see it. So I'm going to pause now, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, and we're back, and you can see here that I've painted inside of all of the positive area. Now, if I turn off the RGB, then I get a black and white image, and I can come in and clean up areas that might need it. I'm not going to worry about this, fuzzy kind of edges, because watercolor is kind of fuzzy to begin with. I don't know what that is, though. I do need to figure that out. Let's see. Ooh, look at there. This is a whole group that I missed. Right in there. Turn that off again. Okay, now we got it. All right, so I'll go back up to RGB, and I come back over to layers, come back up to my last watercolor layer. Well, actually not my last one, because that's got something on it. That's my drawing layer. And this layer doesn't have anything on it. And this is the one I want to work with. All right, so I'll go back to my brush that was somewhere. Well, it was in the Cool Spray library, I know that. We were using Airbrush Wets paper, and I'm using a paper variable, and I have selected this color right there. Okay, so come up to that layer, and let's come in here and put in some of this. Don't think I want to go out that far. Now I'm going to change this to runny airbrush paper, and we'll get, I'm going to put a little of this lighter color in here. So it'll stay lighter, of course. Okay, that's about what I want. Now I'm going to grab let's see, do I have a splatter brush in here? Pretty sure I don't, but I do in Cool Springs. Let's go to Texture 7. And again, we're going to use, let's use one of these brighter red violets. Oops, not that one. Just put a few little blobs in there like that. Okay, to see how this is going to look now, I'm going to go up to Select, Load Selection, and I will load Alpha 1. All right, so see, all of that's loaded, and now all I have to do is hit Backspace, or delete with there, take that color off. the channel was still showing, take that off. That's kind of where I wanted to be. Now let me go up here, and I want to duplicate. No, that's not duplicate. I want to duplicate this layer. And that brought my little lines in a little darker, which I kind of like. And I'm going to come back down to this watercolor layer here. And I'm going to grab I'm going to get a brushes I call Inky Water. And I'm going to take this Flow brush, Inky Flow 3. Sorry guys, these are all new brushes. You'll just have to forgive me on this one. And what I want to do is wet some of this, but with that blue color. Just wet it a little bit. like that, just a little bit of that run. Okay, so then we're going to go back to loading our selection, select, reselect, and I will, it's odd that it's doing that. The backup stuff, the blinking, but anyway, I'll hit backspace or the delete if you're on a PC. Okay, that's pretty good. This has been 30 minutes or so. That's enough for this. And so then I would want to come in here with something like thick and thin 17. And I think I'll go back to what color? I'm on that red color, which I kind of like. I think, no, that's not the. All right, so all I need to do now is add, oops, my signature's not going to work with that paper. All righty, there we go, we've signed it. Now, you know what? I'm still not happy. I like seeing some of this paper here, but I want some more paper in here. So I'm going to come down to my canvas layer, and I'm going to load one of these really pretty, this is the inside of a bottle, underside of willow leaves, eggshell paper color. Let's do that. Let's come down here and we'll fill the canvas layer with current color. Ooh, that's too dark. And I can't. Let's go Control Z, and we'll add a regular layer. And then, is that too, these may be too red. If I reduce the amount, it's okay. No, I don't want that. Don't like that color. What we're going to do is get go back to these violet, blue-violet colors. And we need a fairly light one. Unbleached silk, that's still in the pinky colors. Let's try that. And then we take it and reduce the opacity a lot. That'll work. About like that. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to come up, I want to select a paper first. So we'll go to some paper. Let's go to one of these. Okay, and we need to look at my papers, see what this is set to. I'm going to bring it down a little bit to about 60%. And then I'm going to go up to Effects, Apply Surface Texture, using paper. And we've got, it's really interesting because it's like a double paper here. So I'm going to increase the softness on the paper just a little bit. Yeah, like that. And then I want to bring the amount down a bit. Like that. Take the shine off. Bring the amount up again. And we say, okay. Now that gives us a little bit of paper color here. Let's reduce the opacity again so that it's very light. And I'm going to add a layer mask and go back and grab the fine airbrush or fine spray. And in this time, I need to take it to black, make sure I'm in the layer mask. And then I want to come in here and take that color off these center flowers. It's okay to be on the rest of it, but not on the center of these flowers. And I might leave a little on there, you know. But I don't want that pink color affecting it too much. About like that. And if I go to channels and turn this off, turn this on, no, wrong one, turn this one on, turn this off, I can kind of see what I've done here. Okay, that's good enough. Turn that off, come back here, go back to layers, and I think I'm going to go up another add another watercolor layer because, and I want to go back to my brush I've been playing with, that Fixed 3. And again, guys, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to get these brushes because I'm going to have to work on them. And also the reason is after I work on them, they won't be the same as what you're seeing here. And I'm just going to give, all I'm doing right now is putting a little more color in here. And this darker color, blue type color, makes a little more sense here. But I'm getting a little muddy, so I have to stop. I'll work something to death. All right, let's see what we've got here. Well, that's kind of okay. I don't, the bad things I did here, I did this rather quick, and I really wasn't thinking about it, but I didn't establish a good light source. It's just kind of frontal and maybe from the top a little bit. But you get the idea of how it works, and we got to use these papers. All righty then, that's good enough. I hope you like it. All right, it's not a great painting, but it'll show you what I did. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.